Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, Text 41. Karma. Did we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in the classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Srimad Bhagavatam 5:14-41. Karma vallim avalambya tatah apadah kathanchit narakat vimuktah punah api evam samsara adhvani vartamanah naraloka sa artham upayati evam upari gatah api. Karmavallim avalambya tata apadah kathanchin narakad vimuktah punarapyevam samsaradhvani vartamano naralokasartham upayati evam uparigatopi. Karmavallim, the creeper of fruitive activities. Avalambya, taking shelter of. Tatah, from that. Apadah, dangerous or miserable condition. Kathanchit, somehow or other. Narakat, from the hellish condition of life. Vimuktah, being freed. Punah api, again. Evam, in this way. Samsara adhvani, on the path of material existence. Vartamana, existing. Naralokasa artham, the field of self-interested material activities. Upayati, he enters. Evam, thus. Upari, above, in the higher planetary systems. Gatah api, although promoted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace K.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: when the conditioned soul accepts the shelter of the creeper of fruitive activity, he may be elevated by his pious activities to higher planetary systems and thus gain liberation from hellish conditions. But unfortunately, he cannot remain there. After reaping the results of his pious activities, he has to return to the lower planetary systems. In this way, he perpetually goes up and comes down. Please repeat. When the conditioned soul accepts the shelter of the creeper of fruitive activity, he may be elevated by his pious activities to higher planetary systems and thus gain liberation from hellish conditions. But unfortunately, he cannot remain there. After reaping the results of his pious activities, he has to return to the lower planetary systems. In this way, he perpetually goes up and comes down. Purport. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmanda Bhramite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhaktilata Bij. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, Shloka 151. Even if one wanders for many millions of years from the time of creation until the time of annihilation, one cannot get free from the path of material existence unless one receives shelter at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. As a monkey takes shelter of the branch of a banyan tree and thinks he is enjoying, the conditioned soul, not knowing the real interest of his life, takes shelter of the path of karmakanda, fruitive activities. Sometimes he is elevated to the heavenly planets by such activities, and sometimes he again descends to earth. This is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Brahmanda Bhramite. However, if by Krishna's grace one is fortunate enough to come under the shelter of the Guru, by the mercy of Krishna he receives lessons on how to execute devotional service to the Supreme Lord. In this way, he receives a clue of how to get out of his continuous struggle up and down within the material world. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is that one should approach a spiritual master. The Vedas declare, Tattvijnanartham sagurum evabhigachet. Mundaka Upanishad 1-12. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, the Supreme Personality of Godhead advises, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinah. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21 gives similar advice. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jijñasuh shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnadam brahmanyupashamashrayam. Any person who seriously desires to achieve real happiness must seek out a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. The qualification of his spiritual master is that he must have realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and be able to convince others of these conclusions. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, are to be understood as bona fide spiritual masters. Similarly, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, a great Vaishnava, also advises, Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasadah. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the mercy of Krishna. This is the same advice given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij, CC Madhya 1951. This is essential. One must come to Krishna consciousness and therefore one must take shelter of a pure devotee. Thus one can become free from the clutches of matter. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, the unstopping endeavor or quest for happiness in this material world is described in this verse, and the futility of it as well. So, we are all trying for happiness, and we think we tried only in this lifetime, but since time immemorial, since infinite past, we have been trying for this. And why so? Anandamayo Bhyasat. The simple answer is we are by nature happy. Our original position is to be actually always happy. And here we find a problem with that because we can't find happiness. And therefore we crave for happiness. We take all trouble to look for happiness here in this material world and in a variety of ways. Sometimes we may just play with our friends. Sometimes is wanting to achieve something, thinking that if I achieve that thing, then I'll become happy. So I will try very hard for it. Become a gold medalist in some sports, or even in studies, get admission in this university, or if I get that job, or if I own a business. So we always have these so-called goals. And why do we have those goals? It's because we put a tag of happiness we attach the tag of happiness to that goal, thinking if we achieve that, we will get happiness. But that is where Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic literature come to advise us. The first thing it says is, it is not wrong to look for happiness. Because that's our natural position. We should not fight against our own nature. Oh, we should not try for all these goals. We should just be contented with what we have and not be very ambitious. And many so-called moralists, they kind of teach these things. But that goes against the real nature of the soul, which wants happiness. Yes, this is and those who are driven in this world, those who have the drive to achieve something in this world, they think, oh, these people are lazy. They don't have any drive for life. They don't have any taste for life. They don't have a sense of adventure. They're just these docile people who have given up on life and then just say that you stay contented. But not at all. Our platform of being contented with this material world comes from a different place. We do not say that we should compromise on our desire to become happy. No. In fact, our advice is just the opposite. Don't at all compromise on wanting to be happy. Be the happiest you can be. But how is that possible? Don't try and, okay, this is good. I can do anything now. No, that's not what we're saying. So the point is, one cannot be happy without being Krishna conscious. If we don't even know who we are, we actually will miss out on a lot. Miss out on practically everything that life has to offer. Because we are starting with the wrong idea of life. If I think I am this body, to begin with, I am starting from a point by identifying myself with this body, which is going to surely be destroyed at a certain point in time. I have accepted as my fate the destruction of myself. This is me. This body is me, and one day this body will die. And therefore, if anybody talks about death, oh, no, don't talk about that. That's inauspicious or something like that. But if I identify myself with the body, then I'm saying that I will be destroyed at one point in my life. I'm accepting such a thing. Well, it is one thing if it was true, but Bhagavad Gita informs us that that is not true. All the Vedas inform us that that is not true. And it's not just the Vedas are saying, and therefore it is a fact that, oh, we are Atma, we are not this body. Even logically and practically, we can feel this if we give it a thought a little bit, guided by Shastra. So, for example, Bhagavad Gita guides us on how to understand that we are not the body. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. It is said, if we stop to think for a while and say that, who am I actually? Am I this body? If that is so, then why do I say this is my body? Now, if this is my bag, I will say this is my bag. If this is my cloth, if this is my clothes, I will say my clothes. I'm definitely not the clothes. I'm definitely not the bag. I'm definitely not this computer or the camera. I may say this is mine. So if I say this is my body, then how do I become the body? This is my hand, this is my head, this is my heart. So if all these are mine, then who am I? You have to just a little bit think and analyze. Problem is, we are given so much facility to not think. Any quiet moment we are now spending scrolling the phone. And Maya is offering so many distractions so that to keep us away from thinking about actually who we are. That's illusion. Illusion is not just that we don't know who we are, but also the illusion is relentless in its, Maya is relentless in her pursuit or in her endeavor to keep us away from even questioning who we are. And this is described very nicely by the Acharyas. Maya acts in two principal ways. Maya, we know, is illusion. How that illusion actually works. Two principal ways. First, she throws us away from our constitutional position. Our constitutional or original position is to be a servant of Krishna. That is our actual position. Jiver Swarup hoy Krishner Nitya Das. Nitya Das, eternal servant of Krishna, is our original position, our original identity, our original belonging. We have a sense, we all want to belong to something. I mean, we do belong to something when we are put in this world, either to the family or the country or the race or the species or the gender or whatever. We belong to something, some category we fit in. We try to fit in at least. But actually, what do we really belong to? Whom do we really belong to? So we are actually Krishna's servant. And when it comes to belonging, there is a relationship. And what is that nature of that relationship. That is all explained very nicely, that we are servant of Krishna. Now, and that is Atma, we are also Atma. Mamaivamso jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha. We are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna is always happy. He is never unhappy. He's always laughing and smiling. He's always jovial. He never has a care in this world. He's always happy, playing with his friends, dancing with his girlfriends. And even in the Dwaraka, he has so many queens, so many cows he has. He's lifting the Govardhan hill. It was a disaster. Okay, it was a storm like no other, the likes of which were not seen. Only at the time of universal dissolution, that kind of rain comes. That kind of rain Indra sent just to test whether this Krishna, who is this Krishna? He wanted to give him some display of his power. And it was a disaster. And yet, for Krishna, it was nothing. He just lifted one hill and he knows how to roast people also. He did not lift hill like this, okay, then hold it. He wanted to show Indra that not only do I not care for your rain, and it's not that I cannot protect my Vrindavan Vasis, but I can do it by lifting the hill with not my right hand. Left hand is usually a thing for, something which is not for anything auspicious you do with the right hand, the proper thing to do is right hand. If you give something with the left hand, it is not respect, right? Of course, Krishna, right or left, everything is same, but he wanted to show, left hand I will lift. And not just whole hand, little finger, not thumb finger, little finger. He knows how to roast Indra. And then he lifted like that for 7 days. And was he struggling to hold it in balance? No. You know what he was doing when he was as he lifted this thing? He was playing with his, he was with his eyes, so expert in communicating. With his cowherd boyfriends, he was playing and making faces, making them laugh, and looking at the gopis, and giving love glances to the gopis, and then making them shy. He was doing everything. And at the same time, he will shake the hill a little bit so that everyone will become a little bit scared, and they will try to support the hill with the sticks, thinking that would help Krishna a little bit. What support he needs? The sticks will break. But he was actually having a fun time. That is Krishna. So we are supposed to be his parts and parcels. We are supposed to be as joyful as him. But look at us. Miserable to the core. What happened? What happened? We're so miserable. We may think, oh, I'm happy I watched a nice movie or something. Come on. Birth, death, old age, disease, this is miserable. And to even keep ourselves alive, we have to work hard day and night, from morning to night. Whole day is gone, struggling so much just to keep ourselves afloat in this world. What happened? So, if our constitutional position is to be a servant of Krishna and be always with him and enjoy with him, why are we here? So, that should be the question. So, Krishna gives the answer. Mamaivamsu jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manah shashthanindriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Karshati means struggle. We are absolutely struggling in this material world. Jive phele vishaya sagare tarmadhya jiva. So we are, what is that? Sharira avidya jal. Our sharir is avidya jal. It's a network of illusion. And jadendriya tahekal, our material senses, are the cause of it. And then jive phele vishaya sagare. Imagine being thrown into the ocean from a ship. Suppose you're thrown into the ocean. You are helpless. And add to that, wrap you in a net, like a fishing net, and then throw you into the ocean. Sharira avidya jal. Jal means a net. And jadendriya tahekal jive phele vishaya sagare. Vishaya sagare. So we are thrown in this ocean of material misery, in a network of illusion. We are trapped. Don't forget about us. Even the fish can't swim properly when there is a net. They get captured, right? So how come we have ended up in such a horrible position? So then the answers are there in the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this questioning must be there in the beginning. Of course, the answer is that instead of being a servant of Krishna, we chose to try and compete with Krishna. Now you may ask, why did Krishna even allow us to choose? No, he did not. By nature, if we are part and parcel of Krishna, Mamayvamshan, then we should have everything that Krishna has in minute quantity. Just like a drop in the ocean has about 35% of salt. The ocean also has 35% of salt. It is the same proportion. Just that the drop has a little bit of salt, but the ocean has tons and tons of salt. But the proportion is the same. So, in that way, we can understand our nature is the same as God, but in minute quantity. So, if God has ultimate independence, infinite independence, we also have independence. But our independence is limited independence. We only can choose whether we want to be with Krishna or not. So we, smart as we thought we were, chose that, let me try without Krishna. That was our folly. That was our mistake. And here we are sent to this material world. All such deviant souls are no more allowed in Vaikuntha. They are accommodated in the material world. Just like criminal in this country will be accommodated in the jail. He will also be provided accommodation. And he will be provided food also. In fact, he doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to worry about paying rent. He will just be given oneself. Sit down there and then do some exercise, do some punishment, everything. And then food will be provided. So, government takes care of the prisoners also. But that taking care is different. Punished and taken care of at the same time. So we are also similarly punished and taken care of by Krishna. Otherwise, you think, how is the food coming to our plate? No, I am working very hard. Really? Okay. But how are you working hard? Who gave you the intelligence to work hard? If suppose you are a mentally deranged person, you couldn't have worked hard. Or if I'm physically unable, couldn't work hard. All these things are given to you. And now you're saying I'm working hard. Yeah, but on what facility? Have some gratitude now. Simply saying I'm working hard. The ability to work hard is given by the Lord. The brain is given by the Lord. No, my mother gave me. Really? The mother knows what is going on in the womb. Now I'm constructing brain of my child. No. She has no idea what is going on. She's just having some pain, having to bear the weight, that's all. Engineering of the body, all the nervous system, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the child, all, and coordinating all of them together. It's not that they're independent systems. All coordinated, all centralized brain. How is it working? They say evolution. Oh, something just, matter just formed together and then formed all these things. Stupid theory. They don't want to accept that there is an engineer who engineered this body. So the Lord engineered everything. So everything that we have, that we take so much pride in, is given by the Lord. On top of that, okay, it's all working fine, functionally fine. Aesthetics, like iPhone, it's functional, but also aesthetic also, right? Looking nice, and even the movement, it feels nice. User interface. So apart from the body working well, He makes the body beautiful also. So, look at how much He's doing for us. If somebody says, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, thank you. Why do I say thank you? Did I do anything to look beautiful? What did I do? Did I engineer my face? No. I was given. By whose? By Krishna. So, we are actually neither beautiful nor ugly. All these material distinctions, these are body. The soul has nothing to do with this. So, Krishna is giving us everything. So, we should not take credit for it. A devotee always understands that everything I have is by the mercy of the Lord. Because I did not make any effort to create this. So it was given to me. But then people may also complain about that. Why did he give me this life? Now I'm suffering. If Krishna was really kind, why did he allow me to come here and be in this kind of situation? Because some people's lives are very terrible. I mean, everybody is suffering to different extents. But some people, imagine those people in Middle East, some Yemen or some Syria, war torn. Every moment missiles are dropping, buildings are being razed to the ground. And, imagine being there. Family members just today, having breakfast and after that gone, killed in a horrible bomb blast or whatever, cut to pieces. How do you feel? How can you live in that kind of situation? We are nicely comfortable sitting in an air-conditioned room, but there are people like that. So they will say that this life is a curse. If God is there, why did He create this? And sometimes it so happens that the children die in these wars, horribly, in a horrible way. They say, why? What did the child do? Why was there punishment? If a God was there, then He wouldn't have allowed this to happen. But it happened. How did it happen? People question immediately. Anything wrong happens, immediately question God. Anything right happens, they never give credit to God. No, I did it. When wrong happens, why I don't take credit? Oh, I did it, that's why it happened. No. That time God. If God is there, why should I have? No God. Immediately. But if something nice happens, oh, God is there. He made the thing. There must be God. No, they won't think. Rascal atheists. They won't think. Immediately blame it on God, or if it's nice, take credit personally. This is hypocrisy, isn't it? So, the real answer of why those children or anybody, so-called innocent people, get punished is because, don't forget, there is previous life. There are millions of previous lives we spent. What I did in those lives, I don't know. Unfinished karma. For example, let's take in this life. Suppose I am eating meat. Suppose I eat meat. I'm a meat eater, suppose. And morning, afternoon, evening, I'm eating so much. Until 80 years old, I'm eating. So, who's going to pay for that karma? In this life, it's not possible, no? I have to take how many births? For every chicken I've eaten, I have to become a chicken and be killed in the same way. I have to become. So, how many times I have to be killed? So, the goat or the, some animal which is being killed, that soul is suffering that pain because of, in a human life, in a far distant past, we did something stupid, something so nonsense that now we're suffering for it. So when even children, what to speak of children who are born, people are killing mothers, own mothers are killing their children in the womb. Even worse, and nobody talks about it even. They think, that is not. Abortion is murder. It is murder. But nobody talks about it. Oh, that's nothing. Only if the child is coming out, then after that, if something happens to the child, that is now very horrible. Rubbish. So, all these misconceptions, all these wrong ideas happen because of one reason. We do not know who we are. We do not know we are the Atma. And we do not know how the body actually develops, because only if the Atma is there, the body will develop. Sometimes the child, mother is carrying, the child miscarriage. Right? What happened? Why is the child now stillbirth or miscarriage? That means the Atma has already left from there. Atma has left. So as long as the Atma is there, there will be development in the body. So our body, we say it is alive. It is not alive. Even now our body is a dead body. If we really analyze. Because just like this dress, this cloth is not alive. But wherever I move, this will also move. Like as if it is alive. But it is always dead. When I take off this cloth and wear another one, this cloth will not move anymore. It will show its true colors, true nature of being dead. Now it is adopting another nature as if it's alive. It looks alive, it moves. But it's because I, the soul, am alive. Similarly, this body is actually dead. It's a dress on the soul. Vasamsa chiranani yatha vihaya. In this way, Krishna has explained. So if it is a dress, now this body is all animated, moving. It's only because the soul is making it to move. Now, what is a dead body? When the soul leaves the body, then the body is dead. Simple. So this is very logical explanation, and Bhagavad Gita gives all this. Another example, Krishna said, Yantra Rudhaya Maya. Yantra means machine. The car can have the best engine, Ferrari or Lamborghini or whatever. But if the driver is not there, it will not move. You may say, oh, no, there are now self-driving cars. Hello, what does that mean, so many drivers are there now, not one. Because the satellites are put there by who? Some scientists. And then the whole connection system, everything is, as a scientist has created. And now you are putting that GPS, destination and everything. So there is driver. It is an illusion that it seems automatic. Seems is a driverless car. Of course, there's a driver. So Maya is like that. It shows us a car which is a driverless car, and you see, there's no need of. So Maya shows us this world is just a driverless world. There's no God. Look at this. Like the Tesla. Looks like driverless, but actually you have a whole system, a very grand arrangement to drive one car. Whereas if there was not driverless car, one guy is just sitting there and he can drive. Now thousands of scientists have to monitor all the satellites, geostationary orbit, and then the whole GPS system has to be in place, and then so many sensors he has to put there, and then so many things. Even that car, previously when there was no so-called technology, horse used to be there. Even if you sleep on the horse will not go and bang something. The horse will stop. So as we think we are advancing, that much we are actually becoming a little bit more stupid, because we are not understanding how actually things work. And now when we see this automatic, driverless cars, we think, wow, I'm not driving, the thing is automatically steering by itself. It's not. Don't be under the illusion. Similarly, Maya offers a similar illusion. A driverless world, a brainless world. There's nobody. See, the world is automatically moving. Where you say God. If an ordinary scientist can do a car without a driver sitting there and it can move, you think the supreme engineer Krishna, he cannot make this whole world move on itself? Yasyagnya bhramati samvrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamam. The sun is moving in its orbit automatically without the Lord even touching a finger. The sun is moving in its orbit strictly according to the order of Govinda. Sun. Imagine being able to control the sun. Let's see this verse. Is it this one? And I think 42. Next one. 325:42. See what Kapiladev, who's actually Krishna's avatar, is saying. Madbhayat vati vatoyam suryastapati madbhayat varshatindro dahatyagnir mrityuscharati madbhayat. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-42. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows out of fear of me. The sun shines out of fear of me. And the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers out of fear of me. Fire burns out of fear of me, and death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me. You see, this is how much control Krishna has. So we are so foolish. We wanted to be a competitor of Krishna. We wanted to be as good as Krishna. We came here in into this material world without having any control of anything, not even of our own senses. Completely out of control. Chaotic people, we came here. And now we are suffering. So today's verse says that this suffering will continue. This suffering will continue even if we go to the higher planets, to the heavenly planets. Those who are religious, those who know karma kanda activities, they try to do yajnas, big karma kandiya yajnas. Oh, if I do this, I will go to heaven next life. They will do so many sacrifices. Whereas those who are not so religious, they will try to go to other planets by putting rocket, like Elon Musk, trying to go and have a settlement on Mars. And people think that he is the smartest person in the universe, or at least the earth. Oh, this is the forefront of humanity. He is moving the civilization to the next level. These are all already explained in Bhagavad Gita, Not like, he came up with some new novel idea to go to Mars. People have gone to Mars and come back for many, many lifetime, millions of years. People have done that. Nothing new in that. But the way he is doing it, it's more like Ravana's way of doing it. Because Ravana wanted to construct one staircase all the way to heaven, so that ordinary people also can go to heaven. Of course, not normal staircase, because nobody can climb even Mount Everest now. Who can climb so high? Of course, must be something like escalator or whatever. Because don't get me wrong. I mean, those technology was there. The Pushpak Viman in which he had abducted Sita is a plane which does not have sound at all. It moves by mantra and so fast, swift, without a sound. So these technologies were already there. The yogic powers, the yogis, they know all these things. The demigods, the devatas, they have this. From Kuvera, he got that. He stole from Kuvera that plane, and he had it with him. So a staircase to heaven means not like our staircase, one by one you climb. From below to climb to this temple room itself, 3 floors, you are dying to climb to heaven. So he wanted to do, in other words, he wanted to construct a device in which we can go to all the way to the heavenly planets. So what Elon Musk is trying to do is not something like already been attempted many times, failed also, and people have passed also in a different way. Yogic power, they passed. Narad Muni always goes there, here and there, everywhere, all planets he goes. So these are going on. These technologies are already there. Okay. So Krishna says, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam Shine punye matyalokam vishanti Evam trayi dharma manuprapanna Gatagatam kama kama labhante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the 3 Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. So, if I do these elaborate yajnas and go to the heavenly planets, I'm not going to be able to live there for long. Yeah, for long means I will live there for many thousands of years compared to earthly life. But after that, it will be finished. That episode will be finished and I'll be brought back to this earthly planet again. So, where is it worth? How is it worth then trying for that? When it's going to be finished one day. Why we should try for that? We should try for that thing which after attaining we will never lose it. We will get to that. Now let's see. In general, material life is troublesome, and there is a very interesting verse. You see this shloka, Srimad Bhagavatam 7.7.42. Sukhaya dukkha mokshaya sankalpa iha karminah sadapnoti haya dukkham anihaya sukhavritah. In this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminish distress, and therefore he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activities for happiness, his conditions of distress begin. It's so paradoxical that as long as I don't endeavor for happiness, I'm actually happy. The moment I start my endeavor for happiness, my conditions of distress begin. You analyze this statement, how true it is. For a person who does not have, who does not have anything to achieve, he is relatively happy. Versus the person who is very driven and who achieves something, he is struggling a lot. He has so many troubles. But of course, some people will say that is lazy if you are not, having some drive in life. And you should achieve something great. Yeah, no pain, no gain, they say. You should take some pain in order to achieve some gain. So for those people who are not so willing to take some pain in order to gain something, they are not actually very driven in life. Well, the next question will be then, we just saw, even if you go to the heavenly planets, you will have to come back here one day in the next life. So yes, with great pain, you achieve some gain. But that gain you will not have forever now. You will lose it and come back here. That's the point. So is it worth investing our time in achieving something that we will lose for sure? Don't worry about next life and everything. Even in this life, if I become a millionaire, billionaire, at death I cannot take away anything with me. I will have to leave behind all those millions, billions of dollars, and I have to leave alone. It will go off. See, it's already gone. You see the history and call them person back again. Yeah, you should immediately run actually, but nobody would start it. When it starts ringing, you have to run. So you see, so we have to understand that if we attempt for happiness, that means we are first of all acknowledging that now I'm not happy. If I do that, I'll become happy. That is why the moment we endeavor for happiness, distress begins. Because we've accepted that now I'm not happy. I have to get that thing, then I will be happy. And then I have to struggle a lot to get that. And after getting that, it is just like a mirage in the desert. It looks like water in the far distance, but when I run there, because it's hot, it looks like water. I think you have seen that, no? Mirage. You have seen? Yeah. So it looks like water in the distance, but when you run, there is nothing, and now you are even more thirsty than before because now you have run. So it is in fact a more miserable situation now than before. So the exact way the material world works, how Maya works, gives us an illusion of a happiness to look for. Once we achieve it, it will be misery, nothing but misery. So as soon as we begin our activities for happiness, these conditions of distress begin. Therefore, we should not try for this kind of flickering happiness. That's not very intelligent. It's not very intelligent. Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido nalabhyate yadhramatamuparyatha tallabhyate dukkha vadanyatah sukham kalena sarvatra gabhiraramhasa. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we do not desire them. It's a very beautiful verse which makes you think. If you really stop and think about all these points that are made in this sloka here, you'll understand what you need to pay attention to in life and what you should not pay attention to in life. You see here it is said in the last point, in the last sentence, you see, as far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time we obtain miseries even though we do not desire them. We try so much to become happy, right? Who tries to become miserable? Nobody tries to become miserable. But we do become miserable without trying. Similarly, if it is written in our fate that we have to become happy, we will become happy without our trying as well. In material life, it cannot change. For example, if somebody is destined to be comfortable in life, nothing can stop a person from being comfortable. Sometimes it so happens that a person is mentally deranged, but is born in a rich family, but mentally off. He will have a comfortable life his whole life. Although he has no brain, nothing working, but he'll have a comfortable life. So without him even trying, he is comfortable. On whose arrangement is that? Why should he be born in that family where he has everything set and doesn't have to work hard at all? And some persons, even though with all intelligence, everything, they're still struggling. So whatever is, purva karmanu rupam, our previous past karma, whatever is destined, it will happen. Whether I study or not, whatever I am destined to get, I will get. Either this way or that way. Sometimes I think, when we try to fight this idea of karma, you are saying everything that's destined to happen will happen. Okay. So if I did not study, would I have ended up in this company, in this big company, and working like that? That would not have happened. How are you saying? No, what is destined is our happiness, our distress. And even wherever we go, that is also kind of destined, because it is not that you made an independent choice when you wanted to study this and study that. Whatever options were there, within that you chose whatever was there. And that too, what made you choose? Your mentality at the time. And what governed your mentality? The circumstances, the family, or the country you are in, the system of education that is there. So you're kind of put in a place, and then you're kind of pushed to choose that thing. You think it is your own choice. It is not really our own choice. It's illusion of choice. Under so many conditions, if I'm given two choices, then I'm nothing. I made a choice. I'll go here. You first of all only were given two, and your brain also, your mind. When I think I made this choice, it's not an independent choice. You should know that our choice is influenced by so many things. Either our parents telling it, or I think no, I did not listen to my parents. I chose this. My parents asked me to become doctor. I became a lawyer, or I became a cricketer, or I became a comedian, or whatever. Again, something else pushed me to that. My influence of friends or something else. It's not that I independently did anything. So, karma plays, the reactions of karma will happen in a way that will push us in one direction and makes us believe that we made the decision to go there. And that's more dangerous than being actually pushed. To make an illusion of autonomy that we have, that, oh, I made this choice. That's even more dangerous. Like I said the other day as well in the class, in Second World War or medieval ages, they were tortured. They used to cut people's body parts, while they were alive. And then, they used to torture them like that if they were prisoners of war or something like that. Today, the powers that be, so-called government or the elite, they convince the people to torture themselves and take pride in such torture. They have a movement called the Pride movement. Pride, the colorful flag, transgender movement. That is a movement to convince people to torture themselves. Why do I say that? Because, first of all, it's all a complete farce. There's dharma viruddha kamosmi. Beginning principle is that, first of all, sex is meant for only religious procreation within marriage, and that too for procreation, and that too for responsible procreation. That's what sex is meant for. But now, even sex outside that purview, even within man and woman, is condemned in Shastra. It's the adharma. And forget about having same sex and all this nonsense. For what purpose it is? Kandu yanena karayoriva dukkha dukkham. Just rubbing some genitals, that's it. It's an absolute rubbish. There is also already mentioned in the Shastra, there is rubbish. So it's completely gone. But you see, why do I say torture? Spiritually, it's a torture because that person is committing adharma and he will have to suffer horribly in hell. And the hellish punishments for such people are also described in our Bhagavatam. It's not that these ideas were there before also, not that so something new is coming, nothing new. Same nonsense. But torture, today, people cut off their body parts. They mutilate it. In war, they used to cut people. Another person will cut your body part and you will feel the pain. And today, they themselves agree to cut their own body parts. Women cut off their breasts. Men cut off their penises. This is like voluntarily. Oh, then take pride. They call it pride. See, look at the irony of it. They call it pride. They want to sex change. You cannot change. You want to change your next life. Next life you can change. Next life I can become woman. Woman can become man. Yes. In fact, it is said that a man who is too much attached to a woman, whether it be his wife or anybody, If at the time of death, there is a very good chance that he will think of that woman and become a woman in the next life. And the woman, similarly, if she's attached to a man, then next life she can become a man. Next life, because of her attachment. So whatever we attach to will become. So anyway, the point is this, that when we are convinced by a mode of propaganda that this is good for you, and when we do our own self-inflicted damage because of that, that is even worse. Maya is like that. She gives us an illusion of choice and makes us suffer by our own actions. And we take pride in such suffering. So the only thing, then you may say, then where is the free will? If everything is fate, where is free will then? And the free will, there is only one thing. Either I choose to be with Krishna, serve Krishna, or not. That one thing I can choose. That one thing I can choose. Whether I want to serve Krishna or whether I want to be my own Lord. There's these two choices. You may think, no, what are you talking? I can choose many things, not only two. I can choose to this. Yeah, that is all away from Krishna. Within that, there are multiple millions of choices. But the primary choice is whether I want to serve Krishna or whether I want to not serve Krishna. After I have chosen that I am not going to serve Krishna, then I'll be having millions of options. Yeah, you can do this, you can. All are wasting time. All are waste of time. That is what today's shloka is. Even as far as if you go to the heavenly planets with rockets or yajna or tapasya or whatever you do, you go to other planets, still wasting time because you have to come back. After thousands and millions of years, you again have to come back to this material world, this earthly planet, and suffer again. Which is kind of apt for today because today is so-called New Year Day. We want everything to be new. Happy New Year. Prabhupada called it, and in English there is a proverb, old wine in a new bottle. Old wine in a new bottle. We are changing bottles, but the wine inside is same. So it's just packaged differently. Oh, the new year, 2025. What is so new? You know, Happy New Year. They said Happy New Year on 2020 January. Immediately after 1 month, the COVID came. Huh? So we are saying happy, happy, happy. We are miserable only every year. Simply saying happy. Wishing. Happy New Year, happy birthday, happy Deepavali, happy this and happy that. Where are we happy? Do we just simply sit down and wish for happiness to come? Or do we actually work towards that happiness? Do something about it. Like if I wish for money to come, it will not come. I have to work for it. No? Otherwise, nobody will work. Everybody sit down and wish. Wish from home. Now there's work from home. You wish from home. Money will come. But no, we work. So when we want happiness, why we wish? Wish happy birthday. For what? Wish happy new year. We have to work towards getting happy. And what is that work? To go back to Krishna. That is within our free will. Whether we are in a miserable state or whether in a happy state, we can choose to remember Krishna. Because if we don't remember Krishna, whether we are happy or sad or in a miserable condition, it's all a time waste. Sukhe dukhe bhulo na ko sada hari naam bolo re. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing. Whether you are in sukha or dukha doesn't matter. You focus on Hari. Because this sukha is a distraction, dukha is also a distraction. People think, oh, tolerate means I should tolerate suffering. Tolerating suffering is easier than tolerating happiness. Do you know? You know what is toleration actually? Tolerance means not just, oh, it is painful, but let me just ply through it. No, that's not just tolerance. Tolerance means not being distracted. That is actual meaning of tolerance. Not being distracted. For example, if it is very hot, I still go to work. I will just tolerate it. I don't become distracted. Oh, it is so, I'll just take an umbrella or whatever and go to work and walk in the shade a little bit or whatever. I'll go to work. Or if it is full heavy rain, I still go to work. I put an umbrella and then I'll go to work. If I have some pain, I'll put some, balm or something. I'll go to work or take some tablet, go to work. Tolerate means not becoming distracted by it so much so that I'll deviate from my real duty. With work, that is something understandable because I have to report to the job, otherwise I will have no job on that. So yeah, sometimes medical leave is there, but small things I have to tolerate. So similarly, tolerance means, or suppose another, uh, the happiness, the other side as well. Suppose father, he has son who perform very well in exams. Very happy. Father is proud. That doesn't mean that he cannot go to work. He has to go to work, still report, and he has to do his job there. So whether this or that, I have to do my focus job. No? That is tolerance. So what is our, so when we say tolerate distress, matra sparshastu kaunteya, shita ushna, sukha dukha daha, agama payano nityas tam stitikshasva bharat. Krishna is asking us to tolerate not just the difficulties, but to tolerate the happiness. In fact, in happiness, it's even worse, the distraction. Because, so when we're in distress, we'll immediately, at least those who are a little bit pious, although they were not so serious about God, when they're in distress, at least they will come to the temple. Please help me. I'm in difficulty. When I'm happy, that does not happen. Like sometimes I see newly-wed couple, they come, they want child, so they will come and pray. Then sometimes they will ask us also, please give our ashirwad, they want to have child. So you pray to Krishna, Krishna will give. But then after that, you make the child, Krishna wants. After that, we never see them. After the child is coming, we never see. They are busy with the child. Thank you, Krishna. Okay. Finish. So the distress was better. At least they came to Krishna. That's what really matters. And Krishna, that's why gives us suffering, so that at least, at least you come to me. In fact, Kunti Devi, you look at her prayer. Is uncommon. Who comes to temple like this, New Year day, and say this kind of prayer? Let's see. Anybody says this kind of prayer? This is Kunti's prayer for the New Year. Actually, not only New Year, every time. She's not New Year. She was 110 years old at this age when she said this. She has seen through life. We maybe live 60, 70 years. She lived double. Okay? And what kind of life? Whole life she was being in distress, so-called distress. Materially speaking, bullied so much. Right? Now you see what she's saying. Vipadaha santu taha shashvat. Tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunarbhava darshanam. She's saying to Krishna, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again. Show me one devotee who will pray like this. How much strength of character, how much strength of devotion you should have to say something like that. I wish that all those calamities would happen. First of all, she went through so much calamities. And what calamities? Okay, let's go to the previous verse. It's a glimpse of all the calamities. Vishan mahagneha purushada darshanat asat sabhaya vanavasa krichrataha mridheneka maharathastrato draunyastrataschasma harebhirakshitaha. A recap of the entire Mahabharata, this verse. What is that? What the Pandavas went through. Kunti was there all the while with them, their mother. My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poisoned cake. Bhima was given that poisoned cake as a small boy. And he went into the river and then bitten by nagas. And that poison contracted, he came back again. So poison cake. From a great fire, that palace of lac. You know that story? Where they were supposed to be burnt alive. From cannibals, that Bakasura, demon was there. Bhima killed him. He is a cannibal. Eats men. From the vicious assembly, which is the gambling match, what happened to Draupadi and everything. From sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought, the Kurukshetra battle. Krishna, you saved us from all these things. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwathama. What happened here? Ashwathama, what is this? That Parikshit, Arjuna's son, was in the womb of his mother, Uttara. And Krishna saved that last descendant, unborn descendant of the Kuru dynasty as well. So many calamities came their way, but Krishna protected them from all these things, and they could always remember Krishna. Now you see what then she's saying. After going through, who can go through that kind of sufferings in one life? One lifetime, enough to go through that kind of sufferings. So much so that even Bhishma, what he said? Bhishma, who is the greatest warrior of his time, nobody could stand against him. He was on the bed of arrows, every inch of his body. He said, while on the bed of arrows, which is such a painful condition, he said this, that this is nothing. What you have went through, Pandavas, you see what he said, aho kashtam, aho anyayam, yad yuyam dharmanandanah, jivitum narhatha klishtam, vipradharmachyutashraya. Bhishma said, oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls had to suffer for being the sons of religion personified. The Pandavas. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations. Death would have been better than undergoing those tribulations. That much you suffered. Death would have been better. Yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion. After going through such thing, being a woman, Kunti Devi says, even a man as strong as Bhishma Dev, he said that this is unlivable miseries you have gone through. And Kunti Devi, being a woman, who's considered usually weaker than a man, what she's saying, you see, Vipada santu ta shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yat syat apunar bhava darshanam. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. That's what she really worries about. I don't want to be in a position of so-called happiness where I cannot see you. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. So our real misery is the cycle of birth and death. Samsara davanala, this forest fire of material existence. Repeated birth and death. So to end that, we need Krishna. And we need Krishna not just to end that. That is not the real reason we are going to Krishna, to stop our material repeated birth and death. That may be the initial impulse to push us in that direction of serving Krishna. But eventually, pure devotion means, Krishna, if you want me to go to hell for your service, I will do so. I just want to be in your service. Even if that service is allotted to me in hell. For Krishna, anything. I don't mind even hell. Like Narad Muni. He will go to heaven or hell to preach. He'll preach anywhere. Prabhupada, he went to where? Literal hell on the earth. He went to America. In America, New York. In New York, the Bowery. You know what the Bowery is? The Bowery is the place where it's not the elite district of New York. No. The worst district of New York. Where all the hippies were there taking drugs. You don't want to be even walking in that street, on that street. You'll feel, in danger. Maybe somebody will just come and put a knife on my back or something. They could do that. They're crazy. Absolute crazy people. Drugged out totally. Prabhupada went to that place to preach. Imagine. And he's coming from not some useless low-class family, very aristocratic family. He never seen such things in his life. And the temperature he never experienced, the cold of New York. And he went at the age of 69, not when he was a young man, business, let's do some work there, office purpose, on some posh hotel, stay there. No. He was in the Bowery at the age of 70. Prabhupada said, at the fag end of my life, I came here. Fag end of my life. You know what that means at 70, and suffered 2 heart attacks on the ship. That is pure devotee. Anything for Krishna. Krishna, if you want me to suffer for you, I will. I will go to hell. I'll go through hell for you. That is real love. In the beginning, we come to Krishna, please save me from hell. But once you become purified, we'll say, Krishna, I don't mind hell. You give me your service. Because without your service, that is actually hell. That is real pure devotion. So that's why Kunti Devi is saying, let those calamities happen. Because then we can focus on you. There's like no other distractions. Full focus on you. But if there are, happiness, comfort, then we'll become lax in our focus on Krishna. And that is a distraction. And that distraction is far more dangerous than the distraction of suffering. So we should fear happiness more than suffering. You think that this is like a dystopian view of life. What is this? You can't be suffering or suffering. Happiness also you should be fearing. What kind of life is that? No, it means you should be alert. You should be so happy in Krishna consciousness. That is the real thing. Param drishtva nivartate. We should have this higher taste of Krishna consciousness. So much so that we are not distracted by so-called material happiness and distress, which are meaningless compared to that. That is how we will stay contented, living simply. Simple living, high thinking, Prabhupada said. Although it is said simple living, high thinking, unless you have high thinking, you cannot live simply. The high thinking has to come first. And then you will opt for simple living because all that big thing doesn't make any sense. It's not that you don't have a drive to achieve success, you don't have, you're lazy or something. No, you are striving for the ultimate happiness. And you're actually happy already in that path. Susukham kartum avyayam. Not that you will only become happy once you reach Vaikuntha. No, even the path is full of happiness. See, our path is just singing, dancing, discussing the best philosophy, associating with the best people, eating the best prasadam, best food, taste-wise and also the reaction-wise. I mean, if I eat anything other than prasadam, I'll have to suffer. I'll have to pay later for that karma. That also is given. Everything is so happy. You have no suffering at all. Even the path is so blissful. So, if you want happy new year, if you want to have a happy new life, then please take to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, just saying happy new year, wishing happy new year will do nothing. Work towards it. So what to do? Chant Hare Krishna and read books, Prabhupada's books. That is a solution for happiness. Taking darshan is good on the new year. Not saying not good. But it has to be sustained. And that Shravanam is important. You actually cannot see deity without hearing. Even if you see also, you won't understand anything. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Prabhupada said, what will you understand the deity without understanding what he spoke? Because whatever Krishna spoke is non-different from Krishna. If I am having so much respect for Krishna and I have zero respect for what he said, no, I respect Bhagavad Gita. Okay, respect, right? Listen then, listen. Where is your listening? Where is my reading? Krishna is wanting to speak to you every day. He is sitting on that shelf as the Bhagavad Gita, waiting to talk to you. No, I have no time. I have to scroll my Instagram first. So Krishna is waiting to talk to you. You don't want to talk to him. And you want some dream. Oh, I want Krishna in a dream telling me something. Why dream? When you are awake, Krishna cannot tell you. Only dream only he must come and tell you. You fix the appointment, is it? When Krishna should come and tell you? When Krishna is sitting there waiting to talk, no, I don't want to read. What new year? You will have horrible year, I'm telling you. Horrible year you will have. Unless you say Hari Bol, you will have horrible. That's what you will have. So say Hari Bol. So Hari. So we have to go to Krishna. So New Year means if you want real happy New Year, please take to this process. Otherwise, don't expect a happy New Year. Don't expect. We always are entitled. This sense of entitlement we have. We think we deserve happiness when we don't work towards it at all. This is a sense of entitlement. Oh, I want happy New Year. Oh, but chant na? No, I have no time. And then I have a horrible year. Get lost. You don't want to do, then you simply want happiness. Why Krishna should give? Why Krishna should give? For nothing. So, of course, as much as I don't want to sound discouraging, but I'm just having to state the facts. That's it. These are the facts. We have to be willing. So on this, at least, actually our New Year is Gaur Purnima, because this New Year because of the Christian calendar. No? Our New Year is Gaur Purnima, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. But never mind. Actually, that's why we sang today Nava Gauravaram. Nava means new. Nava Navarasa Dhaman Yuddhatam Rantumase. For the materialist, they will try newer and newer things, but they will get the same. They're actually in newer and newer package. They will try to do the same thing. Punah punaschar vitacharvananam. They're trying new things to find the same pleasure. Whereas we are doing the same thing and finding newer pleasure. Every day we are Mangalarti, there is Guru Puja, there is Bhagavatam class, there is Prasadam, there is service, book distribution. So these are all seva. Every day doing the same thing, but newer and newer pleasure we are finding. Whereas the materialist, they are trying to do newer and newer things. Oh, today is now long holiday. Let's go to Malaysia. Let's do some, let's go to this place. Always changing the thing. But once they go there, do what? Same eating, same going to seeing something, and then after they're getting bored and coming back. Nothing really new. Newer package, that's it. Oh, some new exotic location, nice photo. Okay, done. Come back. Boss will ask you, where is your presentation? Where is your document? I want now, today. Again, come back to the same suffering. So, not really something happy. Happiness means Nava Navarasa Dhaman Yuddhadam Rantumasit. This is okay. Let's 2-3 verses before we close. Where is that? 252. Is it 252? No, 260 is no. 2.60. Yeah, 216 purport, right? Yamunacharya is saying, Yadhavadi mama chetah Krishna padaravinde Nava Navarasadhaman Yudhyatam Rantumasit Tadavati Bhatanari Sangame Smaryamane Bhavati Mukha Vikarah Sushtu Nishtivanam Cha. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor or happiness, whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I spit at the thought. So material life, which is epitomized by sex life, which is the Adi Rasa, and everything else is just below that, he spits at the very thought of material life. Why? Nava Nava Rasa. Newer and newer tastes every single moment. Param Drishtva Nivartate. This is newer life. This is the new life. You have to take to Krishna consciousness. Then we can have this experience. Why every New Year, January 1st? Every single day can be new in this way. Otherwise, it's the same old nonsense. So, the other part, there are many verses actually, but I'll just take to this one, 10:50-20. You see, Brahman Krishna Katha Punya Madhir Lokamalapaha Konu Tripyeta Shranmana Shrutagno Nityanutana. What experienced listener or Brahmana could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming, and ever fresh topics of Lord Krishna, which cleanse away the world's contamination? That means Krishna's topics are also very fresh. Krishna is fresh, ever new. Krishna conscious life is ever new. Krishna's topics are also ever fresh. Not that you read the Bhagavad Gita 2 times and now boring. No. You read 100 times, it will still be very interesting. Very interesting. Every single time. And anybody who has actually read Bhagavad Gita, they will have this experience. Every single time it's the same verse you are reading, but still newer and newer and newer tastes. But the materialists, they're trying different books, but they're getting same taste. And the taste is also dwindling. When you chew on the sugarcane, sugarcane, that wood, when you chew, first there will be this, that sweetness will come out, and then you can nicely taste it. You chew and what will happen? After some time, taste will also go. Nothing, you're just chewing on fiber, tasteless fiber. So you want to spit it after that. So that is material life. Whereas spiritual life is ever new. Anandambudhi vardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam. Every moment it is increasing happiness, ever fresh happiness. see this verse, what is that? Navayauvanam. What is that? Brahmasamhita number? Advaitam, yes. 533. You see? Advaitamachyutamanadimanantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam cha Vedeshu Durlabhamadurlabhamatma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Purana Purusham is the oldest person, but Navayauvanam, ever youthful. He's ever youthful, although he's the oldest. That is Krishna. I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, absolute, infallible, without beginning. Although expanded into unlimited forms, he is still the same original, the oldest, and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. You will never see Krishna old man, haggard, and struggling with life. Even at the time when he left this world, he was still as young as he was when he was in the Ras Leela. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he had great-grandsons, great-great-grandsons, but he was as fresh as a youth. You'll never see him with white old hair, nothing. He's still the same original oldest and the person always appearing as a fresh youth. So, Krishna was 89 years old when he spoke the Bhagavad Gita. 89 years old. Imagine. And you'll see the picture, how he appears when he was 89 years old. Anybody looks like this at 89. Such eternal, blissful, all-knowing forms of the Lord are usually not understood by even the best Vedic scholars, but they're always manifest to pure, unalloyed devotees. So Krishna is in Navayoganam. His topics are Navayoganam. Krishna conscious. Anybody who becomes devotee, his life is Navayoganam. Navanavara Sadhamani. His name, let's see his name. How about his name? You see, the beautiful verse composed by Rupa Goswami. What did he say about Krishna's name? Tunde Tandaviniratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karnakroda Kadambini Khatayate Karnarbudebhyah Spriham Chetah Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritam No Jane Ganita Kiyadbhiramritai Krishneti Varnadvayi. He said, I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. Here it is just said many, many. Tundavali means in the millions. I want millions of mouths. Because that one tongue is not enough to taste the name of Krishna. Millions of tongues I want. That much taste. Navanavarasa. Look at how beautiful Krishna's name is. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. 2 years are not enough to hear the holy name of Krishna. We want millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind and therefore all the senses become inert. So this is how new Krishna is. Every aspect of him is new. His body is new, Navayoganam. And then his name is new. So much that, so much so that just by chanting, we can get newer taste. And then his topics, hearing about him, like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, is new. Every day we can realize so many things, newer and newer things, discussing the same subject. So in this way, everything about Krishna is new. So-called Happy New Year. If you want to really be happy in the New Year, take to Krishna consciousness. Every moment will be happy, not just in the New Year, January 1st. Anyway, we know it's a farce. We know Happy New Year is a farce because after that what follows is not a Happy New Year. So if you want real Happy New Year, then Krishna consciousness is the only way. So any questions or comments on this topic? What?
One verse, Krishna goes he's waiting, he's just like will come back in the And second thing is you mentioned about everything is destined. Whatever we achieve from institutes or destined, the hard work, it doesn't really matter. But, how do you understand the spiritual context? That means you can also think that okay, to become a devotee is also I'm destined. I have destined I become a devotee. Otherwise, I don't have to put efforts. I don't have to put efforts in reading the Shastras because I'm destined enough. Or how do we understand?
The only issue is that I think not everybody heard the question. You have to speak up louder, then people can also realize. So, why did you quote the first verse in that connection?
No, that is just a separate thing. I wanted to know that verse, there's one verse which the question is legally is reading.
Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.483. We will go to that. But the question is our destiny, fate. So the question is that if fate is already decided, then it also should be within my fate that I should come to Krishna and become a devotee. Understanding Shastra and everything should be within that fate. So why are we encouraged to like work towards it when it is already kind of destined in your life, whether you will come or not come into this? But actually, that is not correct, because this one thing we have that is within our control, whether we want to serve Krishna or not, we can choose irrespective of our situation in life. Because everything that is fated or destined is actually an imposition of punishment. For example, let's take a criminal. The judge says for the next 20 years you're going to be in jail. So that is destined now. The next 20 years is destined for him to be in jail, in prison. So can't change much. But what he can do is, once he goes to that prison, what he does there, like if he wants to really change, and you know what, I realize my mistake, I shouldn't be doing this kind of stuff, and while he's in prison, he's actually trying to become a better person, and any activities, there are community activities in the prison, then he will try to participate in that and become a better citizen. Eventually, maybe the authorities may observe, okay, this person, you know what, it's not just acting, because acting they will do first few days, first few months, they will try to do acting. After that, their true colors will come out. The prison authorities know this very well. In fact, when we have some services when we can do in the prison, we can go prison counseling. When religious counselors, they go to prison, the authorities will tell the religious counselors, you counsel them, but you know what, don't take their word for it, because they were very expert at acting it out. They will tell you in such a way that they were put there for a wrong reason. They never did anything, but they were put. They will try to convince you about that. Don't buy those stories. So just hear it 1 year and 1 year out, but counsel them and do that. So they even tell us. So prison authorities, they know that you can act it out for a few days, but when it's months and years, then your true nature will come out. So once the authorities see that, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, he's really trying his best, then there will be some parole for that person. They may decrease his sentence. 20 years, let it be now 12 years, and you can come. So it can happen also. So that is, if I am satisfying the government, then I can be, my term also can be reduced. And that's actually what happens when we surrender to Krishna. If we don't surrender to Krishna, whatever we are destined, suppose the guy is 20 years prisoner, then he is just behaving, not much change in his character, he is just from continuing, and he will go full 20 years. He'll be there. Nothing, no pardon, nothing. So if he is trying his best, so that is what is within our control, that our circumstances are not within our control. But given those circumstances, what do we do with that circumstance? That is within our control. And especially in the case of Krishna consciousness. Now you may say, well, if I have to come into the association of devotees, somewhere that is fated, isn't it? Like why the devotees are selling books, but why I bought the book? And why not somebody else? So that again, a devotee is actually, our karma does not give us entrance into devotional service at all. There's nowhere supported in the Shastra. Because of our karma, we came into devotional service. No. But what happens is, when we do our karma, I mean, if we do pious activities, say I have a charitable disposition, I have anything charity, whether it's a spiritual charity or material charity or school opening, hospital opening, or something, or temple, something, I will give everywhere, suppose. Actually, by right, charity should only be given to dharma prachar, spreading of Krishna consciousness, because that one thing will solve all problems. But this person, he does not have full understanding, he will just have a charitable disposition. So what will happen when he has some inclination of pious activity? Among many people who will come to him, devotees may also come to him. So the devotees may show mercy upon such a person. So ultimately, Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. By their mercy, by Guru and Krishna's mercy, only we can come to Krishna. But when we become more and more in the mode of goodness, Sattvic, we stand more chance to come in the contact of devotees. We prime ourselves to have the probability, a higher probability to come into contact with devotee. If I have, suppose, no inclination to give any charity, and anybody who's religious, I will just, insult him, and, if I have that kind of mentality, then there's a lesser chance of devotees coming to me for any reason. Of course, merciful devotees may still try, like Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai Madhai, he tried. So that may happen, but that's extra merciful devotees. But I won't stand much of a chance if I'm in a disposition. But if I have a favorable disposition towards any pious activity, I may still consider the devotee asking me money also to be one of those many pious activities. I may not still understand that this is actually the real thing that needs to be done in life. So in that mood, I gave something to the devotee, maybe some donation. That is now observed by Krishna. So, Purvabhyasena Tenaiva, in the 6th chapter, Krishna actually speaks about our previous lives' piety, continuing in this life. What is that piety? That piety is not the material piety. Because Yesham to Antagatam Papam Jananam Punyakarmanam Tedvanda Moha Nirmukta, then only Bhajate Mam Dridhavrataha. So what happens then if I did some donation in this life, I helped the devotees in some way or other, but I did not become a full-on devotee this life? Then whatever is the remnant of my karma from previous life, that will be carried forward to the next life. Along with that, this merit of doing this devotional service also goes forward, carries forward. So along with my karma, this service to Krishna also, Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhaya. So that thing also gets carried forward. So apart from experiencing my karma, I will also get this, which actually started from some Guru Krishna Prasadapaya somewhere. Now I'm carrying forward. So in that way it will work. So, but even then, after having given that opportunity of devotee association, I may still take full advantage or not. Because after coming into association of devotees, also I can take them not so seriously and then still leave. That also can happen. Or I may come to temple for 20, 30 years, nothing changed. I'm just coming, take darshan and going back. And talking to some devotees, making friends with them, but not really going to the next level. Stagnant or even going down. That also can happen. So our independence, our willingness, that can, when we are in the association of devotees, that will rub off against us. So, but to qualify for that is explained here. We should do some pious activities. That way, it will not give us entrance into devotional service, but we can have a better chance of associating with devotees who will then show the mercy, and by their mercy, we will then be completely introduced to this entire new world. Durapahi alpa tapasah seva vaikunthavatmasu yatropagiyate nityam devadevo janardana. 3:720 Srimad Bhagavatam. Persons whose austerity is meager, means they are not very austere, can hardly obtain the service of the pure devotees progressing on the path back to kingdom of Godhead. So if I am not doing any tapasya, if I don't have anything in the sattvic way of lifestyle, favorable to religious people, if I don't have that, then hardly have the chance to serve the pure devotees. And once they serve, that's called ajnata sukriti. Without them knowing they are serving a pure devotee, without them knowing what actually they are doing, they are thinking it is just another good activity in this world, but actually it is something much higher. They do not know, but still they are getting the benefit. So then eventually it will snowball into full advancement in devotional service, and one day will come out of this. So in that way it is arranged by Krishna. But we can fast track this process if we engage in Shravan Kirtan process every day as much as possible. We can fast track the process. Yes.
Okay, we surrender ourselves completely to Krishna. And then suppose it is predestined in our life that we will go to a particular college. Now we fail in the first attempt. So how do we make the choice whether to continue putting in efforts to go to that college, whether that is the path Krishna has laid out for us, or whether to give it up or maybe Krishna wants us to do something? How do we make that kind of a choice? And my second question is, after coming to Krishna consciousness, how do you decide your purpose of life? Okay, happiness is not something that I was going towards. Misery is something that I should not get distracted by. And what kind of purposeful life should I be living with, given that everything is materialistic? And if I even say that I must do something for the mankind, is that also materialistic? Or is that actually, does it actually have a purpose in the way of getting towards Krishna?
Very good questions. Two very good questions. So, actually, both questions can be answered by just one thing. So, for example, that college question. If I'm trying for some particular college and I did not get it and I failed, should I keep on trying, or is that an indication that Krishna wants me to do something else, or how should I take it? So, actually, Krishna really doesn't want us to go to any of these colleges. What really Krishna wants you to do is come to this college where you learn about Krishna. Because either this college or that college, it is actually slaughterhouse education, This education, you see what Prabhupada says here. See here, Srimad Bhagavatam 1:122. Yeah. The whole system of education is geared to sense gratification. This is the point. The entire material education system today is geared towards sense gratification. Okay, if you go to this college or that college, what is going to come out of that? You're going to get a job. And then what is the job for? For my sense gratification. For maintaining myself to, my own senses. That's all. That is all this is for. The whole system of education is geared towards, and if I have money, then I will want to enjoy my senses even more. Once I'm a little bit comfortable in my job, and I'll try to enjoy my senses. That's it. And I'll just live a life of sense gratification. And if a learned man thinks it over, he sees that the children of this age are being intentionally sent to the slaughterhouses of so-called education. What is that again? The children of this age are being intentionally sent to the slaughterhouses of so-called education. Learned men, therefore, must be cautious of this age, and if they at all want to cross over the dangerous ocean of Kali, they must follow the footsteps of the sages of Naimisharanya and accept Sri Suta Goswami as his bona fide representative, as the captain of the ship. So this ship is the message of Lord Krishna in the shape of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. So real education is this. So either this or that, both are bad. Actually, Krishna doesn't want you to do anything. It's my intention that I want to go to this college, but it's not happening, so I will just choose. But Krishna actually doesn't want us to do this. either of these. Because he just wants you to come back to him. You see that verse he said, you know what Krishna wants? You know how eagerly he's wanting us to come back to him. You see this verse. You know, he's Paramatma, no? He's sitting in our heart, and every single life, when we are as a pig, when we are as a cockroach, when we were as a bird, he was sitting in our heart, waiting when we will turn to him. You know, and he is saying this. When one of the souls went back to Vaikuntha, Lord Narayana told him this. Asmin nihe haiva bhave bhavi madunmukha ityashaya tavatyantam nartitosmi sadagnavat. So he's saying that every single life I was with you, this is what I was thinking. For so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime, or this lifetime, he will finally turn his face towards me. So every single life he is coming and sitting in our heart, he is thinking, he is dancing with hope that, oh, this lifetime he will come back to me, he will come back to me, he will come back to me. For millions and billions and trillions and gazillions of years, lifetimes, he has been dancing. And you think he really wants us to go to that stupid college? He doesn't want. He's sad if you go there. He's thinking, again he has gone. Again he has left me and gone to a path where he was never going to come back to me in this lifetime again. That's what he really thinks. He's sad for us. That's that much how he loves us. But when he sees us taking these moves at crucial junctions in our life where that's going to take us away from his service, he's actually disappointed in us. He's utterly disappointed in us, actually. He's not even calling us fool anymore. In Bhagavad Gita, he called us fool, mudha, naradham. He called us so many things. Here he's calling himself fool for having even the hope that we will turn to him. That much eagerness he is waiting for us with. And we have zero regard. We are thinking of this college. So he is calling himself a fool for even having the hope in us. So that much hopeless we are, actually. We have gone so hopeless that Krishna has to call himself a fool. The most intelligent, the most charming person ever is calling himself a fool because we have failed him. Why does he want us to go to this college or that college? He doesn't want. So what real education is, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. Rajavidya means the king of education. Vidya. Rajaguhyam, it is very confidential as well. The king of all secrets as well. Pavitram idamuttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. This knowledge is the king of education. This is Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the king of education. And Prahlad Maharaj defines it in another way. Actually, there's another set of verses in that purport of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think, yes, the Ramananda Rai. What is the highest education? Can you take out that? Because in that purport, there is that whole verses from Chaitanya Bhagavat on education. I should read that out, actually. And let's look at what Prahlad Maharaj said. Yeah. Let's go. See how many times this verse is quoted. That's how important this verse is. See. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Sri Prahlad Uvacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishnau, Bhaktischen Navalakshana, Kriyeta Bhagavatyadha Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. Now, one who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. See, this is actual education. Real knowledge is to serve Krishna. 8245. 8.245. Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai, what is the best education? Prabhu ko hai. Kaun vidya vidya madhe sar? You know Bengali? You know Bengali? You are Bengali? This is Bengali. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, Kaun vidya vidya madhe sar? Rai ko hai, Krishna bhakti vina vidya nahi aar. So, on one occasion, the Lord inquired, of all types of education, which is the most important? Ramananda Rai replied, no education is important other than the transcendental devotional service to Krishna. Now, let's go to the purport. Is it here? Okay, the same verse is here, but I think 246. I want that. Was it 250? No, I am. The purport. There is this many verses. From Chaitanya Bhagavat. You know that verse? I think it's wow. Is it 250? I want the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Huh? In the purport, Chaitanya Bhagavat verses are there. Right? You don't know? I'll quickly find it. In the Madhya Leela. In Russia, Prabhu was actually giving a class on this because one devotee asked how to educate our children, what is the education that I should give my children. Prabhu took out these verses. I was like, wow, this is so good. I think this is bad. Prabhu, did you find it? Okay, let me search Bhagavat. Yes, 42950. Okay, sorry. 42950. This is the one. This purport. Yes. Okay, sorry. So here. अंत्य खंड 3.45 चैतन्य भागवत ताहारे से बलि विद्या मंत्र अध्ययन कृष्ण पाद पद्मे जय करे स्थिर मन. One who has fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna is to be understood as having the best education and as having studied all the Vedas. There are also other appropriate quotes in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Shay se vidyar phala janiho nischay Krishna pada padme jadi chitta vritti rai. The perfect result of an education is the fixing of one's mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Digvijay karibo vidyar karya nahi nohem Ishvare bhajile she vidya satya kahe. Conquering the world by means of material education is not desirable. If one engages himself in devotional service, his education is perfected. Pade kena lok Krishna bhakti jane vare, she jadi nahila tabe vidya ki kare. The purpose of education is to understand Krishna and his devotional service. If one does not do so, then education is false. ताहारे से बोली धर्म कर्म सदाचार ईश्वरे से प्रीति जन्मे सम्मत सबार. Being cultured, educated, very active and religious means developing natural love for Krishna. Everyone has dormant love for Krishna, and by culture and education, that has to be awakened. That is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. Once Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai what is the best part of education was, and Ramananda replied that the best part of education is advancement in Krishna consciousness. So that is actual education. So that is the education that we should covet. These are all incidental. In fact, we have already gone the wrong way in that education. From Kaumaracharya Prajna Dharman Bhagavatam, from 5 years old, we should have started this education. And Gurukul system was this. That has been replaced by this modern education system, which will just make you a Shudra, will just make you a good servant of those capitalists, the corporate giants. You'll just be a one cog in their wheel, that's it. One screw in their machine of earning money. That's all I will be. And they'll give you one medal, okay, gold award, best employee. In other words, you're a best slave for me. Thank you. They'll be just throwing some dog biscuits to you. Okay, take this dog biscuit and be a dog for me. So this is all it's all about. And for that we are educating, and then, Indian is now CEO of Google, Indian now is CEO of Microsoft. We're very proud. Oh, Indians are everywhere. Where are you? You became dogs everywhere. Indian brain is actually, Bharata Bhumite Manusha Janma Hoile Jar Janma Sarthak Kore Karo Paropakar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, every Indian who has taken birth in Bharat, he has to make his life successful with Krishna consciousness and spread this all over the world. Now they are going everywhere, spreading all over the world, and spreading what? Google, Microsoft, this is what they're spreading. So we are actually losing our real culture, everything. Thinking we are, but still we are proud for no reason. So that's not education. We should not even think that is success. We are programmed, we are brainwashed all our life to think that is success. If I become something big in this material, that's not. It's materialistic. If I do something for the mankind, is that good? Okay, yes, it's good. What are you doing for the mankind? Are you furthering their life in this body, material body, making it more comfortable? Then that's not very good. Give them Krishna consciousness. That is actually good. So prachar, this dharma prachar has to go. Not just sitting here giving classes, dharma prachar. Going to places, distributing books on the street, and then opening temples, organizing festivals so that more people can come. In this way, get more people to become devotees. That whole domain is called prachar, not just sitting and speaking something. Even cooking, now they're cooking, so many devotees are cooking for the feast. That is also prachar, because serve prasadam to everyone. So everything is part of prachar here. So spreading this activity of Krishna consciousness to others, that is the best humanitarian welfare work that one can do. Anything else falls short, because you're just serving the body only. If I open a hospital, it's still serving the body. Then you may say, if you are sick, you also go to the hospital. No. We are not discounting hospitals. We are not saying that they are bad. First of all, if you have a healthy lifestyle, you hardly need to go to a hospital, unless serious issues. But even otherwise, that has its purpose. But not everybody should be in the hospital. There should be other more higher purpose. Everything serves different purposes in life and civilization. Some are more important, some are less important. The most important is this. That is, yes, hospital is like a mechanic's, car, repair shop. The car, when it becomes repaired, you go and get it repaired, and then when it goes bad, you go and repair and then use it for something. Hospital is just like that. Our body, when it comes, a little bit sick, go and get it repaired, come back and do with that body what needs to be done in life, which is Krishna consciousness. That's the only aim in life, actually. Everything else is peripheral. It's not the main thing, the core activity of human life. So we have to mold our life in such a way that this becomes the mainstay of our life, and everything else serves this real purpose of life. Whereas now we are putting Krishna consciousness as one of the chutney in life. When you have a thali, the main course, the rice, and that is the main course. One small chutney there is Krishna consciousness. Don't make Krishna consciousness your chutney in life. Make it the main course, and everything else should fall into serving your main aim of life. It should not be a side business of life. Now our main business of life is work, family, sometimes temple, little bit, yeah, something like that. It became a chutney in our life. Whereas the opposite was the culture, Vedic culture, where morning and evening people used to go to the temple and hear Ram Katha, Mahabharat Katha. Even in the evenings, they used to not have these televisions and all these phones. Everybody will go to this village center where somebody will narrate Ram Katha or Mahabharat, and everybody will come to listen. Or they will do some dramatic performances based on Vishnu Puran, Mahabharat, Ramayana. So the entertainment was also Krishna conscious. Now entertainment is rubbish nonsense, completely unrelated with God. And God is one. So everything should be centered around God, even entertainment. So that's what that can happen if the world becomes Krishna conscious. We have to spread this everywhere. That's our real business. So Bharata Bhumite, Manusha Janma Hoilo Jar. Whoever has taken birth in Bharat Bhumi, Janma Sartha Kore, Karo Paropakar. Paropakar we must do. But what is the Paropakar? We must know. What is actually good for others? If I administer something, like some people, they want to give free food. They'll give meat. You're putting him in even more hell. Already he's suffering for no food already. You're taking him to hell next life. So he's trying to do good, but he doesn't know what is good. Which is why there is a beautiful verse about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Helo dhunita khedaya vishadaya pronmela damodaya shamyat shastra vivadaya rasadaya chittarpitonmadaya shashvad bhakti vinodaya samadaya madhurya maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Daya Nidhe Tavadaya Bhuyada Mandodaya. This is Daya. Daya means compassion. The thing that drives you to help, want to help others. That, Amanda Udaya Daya. The last line here. Amanda Udaya Daya. Tavadaya Bhuyad Amanda Udaya. Okay, let's read the translation and a little bit explain. O ocean of mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let there be an awakening of your auspicious mercy, which easily drives away all kinds of material lamentation by making everything pure and blissful. Indeed, your mercy awakens transcendental bliss and covers all material pleasures. By your auspicious mercy, quarrels and disagreements arising among different scriptures are vanquished. Your auspicious mercy pours forth transcendental mellows and thus causes the heart to jubilate. Your mercy, which is full of joy, always stimulates devotional service and glorifies conjugal love of Godhead. May transcendental bliss be awakened within my heart by your causeless mercy. And this Amanda Udaya, especially Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the Manda Udaya, Daya. So Daya means, compassion. Now, if I want to help some poor people or, something in a humanitarian way, that is the idea of Daya. But Manda Udaya Daya. Manda means bad. Udaya means rising. Bad will come out of it with that Daya. That is Manda Udaya Daya. Where my compassion is helping someone in a bad way. For example, go to Africa and open some schools. And I'm saying I'm increasing the literacy of Africa. But what is happening in that schools? You are systematically taught that there is no God. Where is the subject about God in school? Science. The universe started with a Big Bang. We're taught in our textbooks, which is wrong, which is false. God created the universe. And they can't even until now, they cannot prove that the universe started with a Big Bang. They actually do not know what happened. It's their idea that it may have started with a Big Bang. But they put it in our textbooks. Is that not manipulation? You're not telling them the truth at all. And that's not just one thing. Yeah, you should know, of course, English and you should know mathematics and all these things. But all that to serve what purpose? Are you giving them the purpose of life as well? No. In fact, you are stifling that. In schools, you should not show your religious thing or is secular. That means what? Religion is out of the picture. God is out of the picture. That's your personal preferences you want to do at home that you can do. Your parents will teach you. We will teach you how to become our slave. We will train you to become our slave. That's what they're teaching you there. And if I'm opening schools, that's what I'm actually doing. That is Manda Udayadaya. We're not saying that you should not be educated. You should know, of course, how to read and everything, but in conjunction with Krishna consciousness. Here we can have all that things. We are also reading, right? We are reading science. We are reading astronomy. We are reading physics. We are reading mathematics. Everything is there in Bhagavatam, but in connection with Krishna. But where there, everything is well relation to Krishna, and therefore, every scientist, every doctor that comes out little educated, he is an absolute atheist. Only those who are not so educated, they are a bit, God-fearing and a little bit more faithful. And those who are more and more scientific, they tend away from, and they are the so-called leaders. Oh, Stephen Hawking, the best scientist. He was an atheist. Elon Musk is almost an atheist, agnostic, tending towards atheism. And they are touted as the most successful people, most this and that. More who has made money, he is successful. Don't buy into that. Don't buy into that propaganda. Hear from Krishna. Actually, he is the certifier. He is the authority who certifies. Now, if you get a certificate from a fake university, that has no value. So, we are getting certificates from fake authorities. Oh, this is actually the aim of life. Look at the successful person. Forbes 30 magazine, the successful people, 30 people in the world this year. That's not success. Earn money is not success. Or build a successful business, that's not success. When it became success in life. Success is how best you have become devotee. So the KPIs, the key performance index, what is actually the measure of success? Don't take it from these rascals, fake authorities. Real authority, Krishna. Krishna says, Rajavidya, this is king of education. So here is, even though the entire world disagrees with that, doesn't matter. At the end of life, the entire world is going to save you or Krishna is going to save you. Choose. At that time, when you see, you can call your dearest wife or husband or parents or children. None of them will help you at the time of death. Krishna can. If you call out to Krishna, he will take you back to his kingdom. Only he will come. So whose judgment actually is worth subscribing to? Krishna's judgment. So even if the whole world goes against it, in fact, there is one saint in Christianity, Saint Augustine. He said, if the world stands against the truth, I stand against the world. But I will be for the truth. That's how we must be. What was the next question? Huh?
I mean, I am here for a purpose, and everything is materialistic. Then say whatever I'm doing is basically say, okay, there's violence somewhere, and I'm saving people. Say I'm educating them in Bhagavad Gita, so they can be empowered to save themselves. Does that come under the material domain, or is that actually purposeful?
That is purposeful. And it's not only on the war front. Violence is happening in many ways, for example. For example, mothers are killing their children in the womb. That is violence, even much worse than the war. Because own mother killing the child. That is violence. And it's happening much bigger than the war. I said this many times. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki killed 200,000 people in one day. Every single day of every single year, 200,000 exact same number of children are dying out of abortion. Nuclear bomb is being dropped every single day, but it's happening in such a decentralized, covert way that we don't see the violence. And that's on humans. What about the animals? Billions and billions. The violence is going on at tremendous rate. And all the wars that are happening are actually reactions to these violences that are already being performed. It's as a reaction to that.
Anything in life which is, as long as it is connected to Krishna consciousness, makes it purposeful.
Yes.
Doesn't.
Nothing. It's an illusion of purpose. Nothing else is purposeful actually in this world. It's actually true. If you read, have you read Bhagavad Gita? You should actually take on Bhagavad Gita and start reading. And all this will become very front and center in your life, because now it's like we're not sure because you see, like, you haven't read it. If only people actually read. They will. So many of these world problems can be averted at all levels: personal level, community level, national, international. All these problems can be solved. Shankaracharya said, "Ekam, what is that? Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam." Devaki Putra is Krishna. So one Shastra, one book is enough for the whole world to have peace. Bhagavad Gita. But actually it's true. If we really read, one book is enough. Every answer is there in that one book. And of course it is elaborated in the Srimad Bhagavatam in more detail. But everything is here. So the real solution is actually this. We went to Russia. We went to the battleground where Russia-Ukraine war was going. Just not actual battleground, but just the town adjacent to that battleground, Kursk. We were there in July this year. And there was one doctor, elderly person, who was coming to our classes, who was treating the war soldiers. And he was coming with, how we actually found out that he was, of course, the devotees also told us, but he himself initiated this conversation. You know how? Prabhu was, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, our temple president, who's not here, he's in India preaching. So he was saying in the lecture that, Krishna will protect from all danger. At one point, the point of ghost also came. So this person asked the question, do you have any actual remedy for haunting by ghosts? He said, yeah. He was not sure why he asked the question. Why do you ask? He said, you see, I'm a doctor. I'm treating these war soldiers. And they come wounded and everything. And I can do some physical thing, yes. But what common thread I'm seeing in every common theme I'm seeing in most of these soldiers is they are having these visions of ghostly visions, and they're seeing their friends are coming as ghosts and troubling in their dreams, and usually the psychologists, they advise them, this is just hallucination, you have been attached to that person, but actually no, they're not wrong. Because our Bhagavatam says that if you have an untimely death, you'll become a ghost. So all those young people who are dying in the war, untimely death, and they remain as ghosts. And they come to their friends, trying to, actually they're helpless, they're really sad, they're really painful, their life. So they come to these people to, get some solace, but they are scared of them because they are now ghosts. They're no more that physical flesh and blood body. So that makes them even more painful. That I went to my friend and he's now freaking out because he's now haunted by ghosts, so it's a very terrible situation. And so he was asking this question, and of course Prabhu said, yes, you can chant the Namaste Narasimha mantra is one thing, but also they should understand what is actually happening. And the psychologists, they know nothing about this. They know nothing about these things. They don't know the subtle existence of ghosts and all. They don't know. They can't even begin to explain these things. They just explain in their own limited understanding of how mind works. So if you know Krishna, you can actually know the entire situation much better than the so-called psychologist. That guy went to masters in psychology. What is the use of this college? Again, comes back to that point. He doesn't know anything. Whereas we, without any college degree, we know better than them how actually psychology works, how actually mind works, and what else is there beyond what we can just see, and what factors come into play when situations happen. So we have a much more all-rounded perspective of what life is and how the dynamics of life and everything. That we are way better situated than them. In fact, we will challenge the scientists. Prabhupada always challenged the Darwin evolutionists that that's not how life came. Life did not evolve from monkey to man, and that's rubbish. And he challenged them, proved it also. And scientists don't have an answer. So we have to challenge the so-called science, in fact. And that's what we're doing. Moon landing. Hoax. It's a hoax. The biggest cheating of the 20th century. But people still believe we went to the moon. We never went. We were taught in school. Neil Armstrong, first man. Or small step for man, giant leap for mankind. It's a giant cheating for mankind. That one day. So that was what actually happened. Imagine 1969 technology went to the moon. Today we should be having school excursions to the moon with 2024 technology. Where are we? Far away from that. 2 people are stuck in that space station, International Space Station, still not coming down. That also we can't do properly. We want to go to the moon and come back. Seriously, you want me to believe that? Absolute rubbish. This is not science. This is complete cheating. But they shove it in our throats as if it's science. It's not. Real science is here. So yeah, I mean, if the real purpose is first make our life purpose successful first, then I can help others. If I don't make my life successful, how can I help others? Like one person drowning, suppose, and this lifeguard he goes and goes and saves him. But for that, he has to be such an expert swimmer himself that he can not only swim himself, but he can also carry somebody and swim from the water and save him. So if suppose I don't know any swimming and I see someone drowning and I really want to help, I have the intent, but I have no capacity. Just go with the intent and go jump into the water. Tomorrow newspaper, 2 people died. News. Instead of 1 person died, news 2 people died. I also died. One of them. So just the intent, wanting to help is not enough. I should know what help is, and I should myself be so strong that I can pick up myself and I can help others then. That is called Janma Sarthak Kari Karo Paropakar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he just did not say Karo Paropakar. No, Janma Sarthak Kari first. Make your life successful. Be solidly situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Then yes, you can help others by giving them with the same conviction. If you are not convinced yourself, how can you be a good salesman when you are not convinced of the product you are selling? So similarly, we have to be convinced thoroughly that this is the actual path, and in every single angle, you should be able to explain that this is actually the only path. It's not that, oh, I believe Krishna is God. I think for me, that is the right path. No. For every single soul, every single damned soul in this material world, who's actually damned, because what are we here? We are damned here. We're doomed. So every single soul in this material world needs this only one thing, and we should be thoroughly convinced. Sudridha Nischay. That is called Vishwas. Shraddha. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas ko hai Sudridha Nischay. Krishna karma, what is that? Koile sarva karma krita hoy. 2 to 52, isn't it? 62. See, Shraddha Shabde. What is Shraddha? Shraddha Shabde Vishwas ko hai Sudridha Nischay. Krishna Bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. Once you do Krishna consciousness, everything else that is so-called good in this world will automatically be done. Like you said, helping mankind will automatically be done if you're just Krishna conscious and spread this knowledge. Automatically, you're doing the best thing for the world, for yourself and for the world. That firm faith we should have, it's not a blind faith. It's well-informed faith. We have faith in everything. When we buy a plane ticket, we have faith that it will land there. We don't know. Anything can happen. We have just faith that this will land. No. Avionics, aeronautics. Yeah, you can talk about all science you want. When you're purchasing a ticket, you're having only the faith and nothing else. Of course, on what basis are you having faith? Okay, this is a reputed airline, these pilots are trained. You base your faith on some benchmark and say, okay, you know what, I'll trust this airline. But Malaysian Airlines was so trustworthy. MH370 missing forever. Even on the Royal Road, you can have the worst accident. It can happen, right? So it's only faith that is, we are sitting here out of faith. Anything can happen. If there's an earthquake, this building can be completely swallowed into the ground. It can happen. So we are just having faith that this will work. That will work. Even the greatest scientist, who is the most logical person, marries only out of faith that this woman is going to be a good fit for me. Did he scientifically analyze? Come on. He's just having faith that this will work out. It's faith after all. But in what do we have the faith? When we are saying that the sun is 93 million miles away from the sun, Earth is 93 million miles away from the sun, it's out of faith. You may say, no, scientists measured. Yeah, you are having faith in the scientists. You did not measure, no. You took a tape and measured or what? Nothing. You are having faith in the statement of scientists. So why should I have a statement in the word of the scientist and not God? So it is just a transference of that faith into the right person, God, who will never cheat us. Suhridam sarvadehinam. Whereas a scientist will cheat you. Scientist said that the man came from monkey. That's not true. The universe started with the Big Bang. That's not true. Man went to the moon. That's not true. And we accepted it as unquestionable truths about life. No, they're not. We were being cheated. So Krishna is not like that kind of a cheater. He's actually a teacher. Whereas our so-called teachers turn out to be cheaters. They honestly teach. But what they teach, wrong things. That is cheating. So okay, that is a call for the end of the Bhagavatam class. So any more questions come? I think it's very late, 11 o'clock. So we'll... Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Krishna.